Hello and welcome to the 513 Show. If you don't know why it's called the 513 Show, it's for 2 Chronicles 5:13. Here today we have Jess McAllister with her Autoharp. Very excited to talk about this today. Brand new, we're talking about something very different today. I'm very excited. We hope you enjoy our show. So Jess, how did you start playing an autoharp? And, well, what is an autoharp? I know I never heard of this instrument before.
Well, truly, if I didn't grow up with a mother that played an autoharp, I don't think I would have known what an autoharp was until much later in my life. But my history with the autoharp, I feel very much like I have a childhood connection with it in a really good way. Because my mom used to play the autoharp anytime that she was leading any sort of our choir activities at church. And it was something where, because she was left-handed, she would actually play with the instrument in her lap and use her left hand to strum. So all the while, I thought that was the way that everyone played the autoharp. But in fact, that is an option, but not the way that everybody plays it. But we can talk about that a bit later.
Spoilers.
Yeah, right. We don't want to spoil anything. But anyway, so I have wonderful memories of my mom playing songs as I was a child and singing along in a circle of children. And she led us through the song with the autoharp, and it was a wonderful experience that way. Then I had a long period of time where I didn't think about the autoharp at all, not even a moment in time where I considered playing that as an instrument until I was in graduate school for music therapy. And the program that I participated in was very neurologic based in its focus of how you use music and then how it is affected in the brain, or how the brain responds to music. Okay. So the focus was really about the brain and a lot about rhythm. And a lot about how you can use rhythm to assist the brain in doing things that perhaps in a situation where there's a diagnosis where some parts of the brain have been compromised or weakened, that you can use music, or you can use the rhythm in music to make those things perhaps come back and to be regained or improved. It is also a great instrument to use to accompany things like my mom did when I was younger, playing songs and singing along. It's really portable. You can carry it along with you. You can walk around with it. You can have it on your lap. And
is it like a all wood top like an acoustic would be, or?
Yeah. Well, like with guitars, not all autoharps are created equal.
Yes. Okay.
So this one I was gifted as I graduated from graduate school. So it's a very high quality instrument, and so it's one single piece of wood, the top and the back is actually really pretty. It's so pretty. Tuning the autoharp is a challenge because you have all of these strings. And so it's a lot to tune. It takes a long time.
Yeah. And so you don't have tuning pegs. I mean, not tuning pegs. The adjusters like you would on a guitar. Like, how do you?
Yeah, not as easily. It's not a knob that you can easily turn. But here's how it works. So this is the way that you tune each peg that you have here that's attached to the string. And so it has, it kind of looks like a
it looks like what they would use for like a piano.
Yeah, like a piano. You're right. But I was thinking about just when you're trying to turn a
wrench.
Yeah, something like where you're trying to put something together and you're drilling it in.
It's the IKEA wrench.
It is. But what happens is each one of these strings is secured on, and it's wrapped around. So it's a string and it wraps around enough times to be secure on the peg. But what you do is you take this and you put it on, and then you can move it from left to right. I wonder if I could model this maybe for one of these strings that are going to be a bit more in the middle of the range here. So we have our string that's here, and then if you turn it to the left, thank you, you hear how the string gets higher. And if you turn it to the right, the string loosens and becomes lower. So it's one of those, it's one of those things where the tiniest of adjustments really makes a difference.
This is really sensitive when it comes to tuning.
Yes.
So you have to be really precise.
You really do. And so one way to do it that you would probably do just one time when you got a new Autoharp is to tune it string by string, which you don't really want to do. A great way to do it is to stick with a chord so that when you press a button down, there's a piece of felt fabric that presses down and holds down the strings that are not included in that chord. So any notes that aren't involved.
Yeah. So it's the reverse of fretting a chord on a guitar, basically.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And then everything else that rings is a part of the chord. So only C, E, G, and then C, E, G. So it really is that concept. So when you choose a chord and you So only the strings that ring are going to be the ones that I tune. And that way you can tune one chord at a time, make sure you're on the right track to make sure it all sounds good together, and then you choose a different chord and you go from there. That kind of idea.
That's very fun.
Yeah.
That's very fun.
So they're very secure, the strings, and other than this one little guy that was sacrificed the other day, because you can play the Autoharp pretty hard, and you're not going to hurt anything, that's when you need to replace.
So Jess, what style of music do you play with an Autoharp, and what are some of your favorite songs to play?
Well, you could play any style of music with the Autoharp. I'm going to argue that point, right? Yeah. I haven't personally experimented with every single style, but I would argue that would be a possibility. The Autoharp did get its origins in the bluegrass genre, so country music and bluegrass music is perfect for the Autoharp. For my uses, when I use the Autoharp, if I'm working with children or if I'm working in a therapeutic setting, are often going to be folk songs that have a clear chord structure to them, and to be able to use the Autoharp and how I can play it rhythmically, and I can play around with the different registers and how I strum the instrument to have different impact. So like I mentioned before, I have this little cheat sheet in the back of my Autoharp that that lists of some songs that I often play on the Autoharp. And some of them listed are "Oh, What a Beautiful Morning." That's from the musical Oklahoma. And the way that I play that is if I'm going to focus on helping someone breathe deeply, inhaling and exhaling, you can really guide that with the Autoharp. So you start from low to high for that inhale, breathe in, and then you reverse that and you breathe out, and you can use, perhaps the 7th chord to breathe out.
That sounds really cool.
And then you can have that. Yeah, see, you want to do it, don't you? And so that, having all those strings to really, and you can really play around with the dynamics, and you can start off soft and get loud. And then you can reverse the process, that kind of thing. So you can really play around with dynamics. And then once we start to sing,
I'm not breathing that fast.
Yeah. There would be no breathing at that. No deep breathing at that point. That's when we sing together. Yes. So that's one of my favorites to do. Some others that are some folk songs or things that are easy to sing are songs that I enjoy that are listed here as "Oh, When the Saints Go Marching In." You can make that really strong in its rhythmic structure. Or you could subdivide it. And then you could go into a strum. Oh, when the saints go marching in, that kind of thing. And something where a song like "Oh, When the Saints Go Marching In," you can really add movement to that. Anytime that you make a clear strum, a downward strum, you could have that be, how you step up and down as you step in your chair, marching right along as you go.
Built-in bass drum.
Right, exactly. You get that steady beat going, that marching going, and then you sing about it. Oh, when the saints
So I've also noticed that you're using a pick. When I am, do you always use a pick, or do you use like other types of plucking instruments? Do you go fingerstyle? I know when I first saw this, it kind of reminded me of like a koto, like a Japanese style of harp where like they get a lot of vibrato on the other side, but they can like also like individually tune. I think it's 16 strings on that one. I'm not really sure.
You're probably right. That sounds good. That sounds close.
But that's also a harp style instrument, and like, but that's also they go across, but they also do a lot of like individual fingers.
Right. To answer the question of do I use a pick all the time, my answer is yes. I always use a pick because I'm looking to use the instrument in all the strings as much as possible. Even within one song, I want to be able to play and experiment and change where I'm strumming, and that's the most easiest with a pick. The type of pick. Oh, sorry, were you going to say something?
I was going to say, funny enough, I noticed that your pick was the exact same style that I use. Big stubby 3mm, wonderful pick, feels great.
And these picks are
I have never broken a single one. My picks last me like 6-8 months easily.
I believe you. Because these, I can't bend this sucker in any way, shape, or form. And the type of pick that you need to use for this type of instrument is it needs to be this thick or thicker, if there is one, if there is an option, because you need to be able to have the pick to be able to get the sound out of the instrument, and also to be able to have the power to move through the strings really easily without breaking. So this, in theory. Right, in theory. So I always use a very, very thick pick whenever I play. With the Autoharp, you're really getting a feel of an instrument that similar to those other harp options, and where you've got a lot of strings to work with, and you're able to use them how you want to, but not within as much of an individual string at a time. You're kind of working within that chord and then going from there. So, the compact version. Yes.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a blast.
My pleasure.
Please like, subscribe, comment. Thank you all so much for joining. God bless. Have a great day.